1203 Dirk VII, Count of Holland 1190-1203, dies. In 1411 Khalil Sultan, ruler of Transoxonia b. 1384. In 1652 Jean-Charles de la Faille, Flemish mathematician and Jesuit priest, dies at 55. In 1658 Antoine Le Maistre, French Jansenist b. 1608. In 1674 Kano Tanjoe, Japanese painter palaces, portraits, dies at 72. In 1698 Rasmus Bartholin, Danish physician, mathematician and physicist, dies at 73. In 1702 John Benbow, English vice-admiral Marta, dies. In 1702 Thomas Eisenhut, German Kapellmeister, organist, musicologist and priest, dies at 58. In 1704 Andreas Acoluthus, German orientalist and professor of theology, dies at 50. In 1768 Johann Lulofs, Dutch physicist, philosopher and astronomer, dies at 57. In 1781 Johann Nikolaus Götz, German poet Mädcheninsel, dies at 60. In 1791 General Richard Butler, American soldier, dies in battle against Native American forces during St. Clair's defeat at 48. In 1801 William Shippen, American physician and delegate to the Continental Congress, dies at 89. In 1830 Fr. Richter Merode, Belgian nobleman, Earl of Merode, Belgian revolutionary, dies in battle at 37. In 1837 Jean-Louis Marca, French dermatologist, dies at 69. In 1841 Adriaan van der Hoop Jr., Dutch poet and literary critic. Hugo and Elvire, The Journey to Tervuren, dies at 39. 12 German composer and pianist. Italian symphony, Songs Without Words, dies after a series of strokes at 38. In 1850 Gustav Schwab, German writer, dies at 58. In 1853 Alexander Stadtfeld, German composer, dies at 27. In 1856 Hippolyte de la Roche, French painter, dies at 62. In 1869 George Peabody, American-British entrepreneur and philanthropist who founded the Peabody Trust and the Peabody Institute, dies at 74. In 1890 Jacob P. Baron van Zuylen, Dutch foreign minister 1852-3, dies at 74. In 1890 Joseph B. Parma, American Brigadier General Confederate Army, dies at 65. In 1890 Kazimierz Julian Krater, Polish classical composer. Over the Precipice, You're My Dream, dies at 46. In 1893 Cornelis Eliza van Coatsveld, Dutch writer and preacher, dies at 86. In 1893 Pierre Turod, French politician b. 1827. In 1895 Eugene Field, poet of childhood, American poet, writer and journalist. Little Boy Blue, dies at 45. 1898 Charles Jerome Hopkins, American composer, pianist, critic, and musical education advocate, dies of a brain hemorrhage at 62. In 1904 Jack Brown, English cricketer. 8 tests for England 1894-99, dies at 35. In 1906 John H. Ketchum, American politician b. 1832. In 1908 Tom S. Estrada Parma, Cuban politician, first president of Cuba 1902-06, dies at 73. In 1917 Chocolat Rafael Padilla, Afro-Cuban clown, dies at 52. In 1918 Andrew Dixon White, American historian and educator, first president of Cornell University, dies at 85. English soldier and anti-war poet. Anthem for Doomed Youth, Futility, killed in action at 25 during the crossing of the Sambarois Canal, exactly 1 week before the signing of the armistice. In 1921 Takeshi Hara, Japanese politician, Prime Minister of Japan 1918-21, assassinated by a right-wing fanatic at 65. In 1924 Gabriel Urbain IV, French organist, composer. Requiem Ballade, and educator. Paris Conservatoire, 1905-20, dies at 79. In 1924 Richard Connor, American Civil War Medal of Honor recipient, dies at 79. In 1931, Buddy Bolden, African-American early jazz musician, dies at 54. In 1932, Belle Bennett, American actress Stella Dallas, Iron Mask, dies of cancer at 41. In 1933, John J. Chapman, American poet and writer learning other essays, dies at 71. In 1934, Alfred Gilbert, English sculptor and Goldsmith-era statue in Piccadilly, dies at 80. In 1935, Mikhail S. Radnai, Hungarian composer, Symphony of the Magyars, music writer and critic, dies at 43. In 1937, Rogelio Odell Viller, Spanish composer, dies at 61. In 1939, Charles Arnold Tournemire, French organist and composer, dies at 69. Prime Minister of Spain 1931-33 and second President of the Spanish Republic 1936-39, dies of a heart attack at 60 while in exile in France. In 1942, Marcel Barger, Dutch Jewish cabaret performer, killed at Auschwitz at 51. American baseball, HOF Pitcher World Series 1926, Chicago Cubs, Triple Crown 1915, 16, 20, 6 NL wins strikeout leader, Philadelphia Phillies, dies at 63. In 1953, Elizabeth Sprague Coolidge, American pianist and philanthropist, dies at 89. In 1954, Stig Dagerman, Swedish Arthur Burnchild, dies at 31. American Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Cleveland Spiders, Boston Americans, most wins in MLB history 511, dies of a heart attack at 88. In 1957, Joseph Canteloube, French composer and musicologist, collected French folk songs, dies at 78. In 1957, Shokai Effendi, Guardian of the Bar Faith B. 1897. In 1965, Kjasto Odak, Croatian composer, dies at 77. In 1967, June Thorburn, British actress Touchco, Children Galore, dies in plane crash at 36. In 1968, Mitchell Kikoin, Lithuanian-French expressionist painter Passage Cézanne, dies at 76. In 1968, Paul J. M. Lindemans, Flemish agricultural engineer and author, dies at 78. In 1969, Carlos Marighella, Brazilian politician and guerrilla, shot by police at 57. In 1969, Ferenc Schab, Hungarian composer Eldas Máté, LJJ Meintolig, dies at 66. In 1972, Max Schachtman, American Trotskyist, socialist leader and writer, dies at 68. In 1973, Karl H. Weckerl, Austria author Green Friends, dies at 75. In 1974, Bert Paetnord, American soccer forward, 4 caps, scorer of first hat-trick in World Cup history, 1930, dies at 65. In 1974, Edgar Fernhout, Dutch painter and son of Charlie Toorop, dies at 62. In 1975, Sheila Ryan, American actress, Son of Texas, Great Guns, dies at 54. In 1980, Elsie McGill, Canadian aeronautical engineer, first female in Canada to get bachelor's degree in electrical engineering, dies at 75. In 1982,